thanks everybody for joining us today, and welcome to our special edition podcast in celebration of International Women's Day. I'm Eve Hill, Head of Recruitment, Diversity and Reward, and I'm really delighted to welcome three incredible ladies onto the panel today. So we have Paula Grasser, our Regional Director for the East. We've got Natasha Shillingford, General Manager at Kew House, and B. Livett, our Dementia Care Manager at Anisha Grange. However, B, I'm really pleased to say, following a recent promotion, you're soon to be our Deputy Manager at Hutton View. So many congratulations, well deserved there.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Okay, so I guess, so for those of you listening that don't know what International Women's Day is, probably worth giving a bit of an overview. So International Women's Day is the 8th of March, and it's a global day that celebrates the social, economic and political achievements of women. And the day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality. And this year's theme for 2025 is actually Accelerate Action. And I think you'll all agree with me here. So, when we look at the great things that are happening at Hallmark, we've got a really great inclusive culture. We always offer many development programs, and we get a fantastic uptake each time from, everybody, men and women. So, equal opportunities is absolutely something that we have here in the organisation. And, we've got a really fantastic representation of women in leadership roles, and there's many, many examples of women whose careers have been elevated really through the support and the development that Hallmark provides. So I guess this year what we wanted to do was to think about how we'd like to celebrate International Women's Day, and what we decided within our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion and Belonging Steering Group was that we wanted to invite some really inspirational women who we have working here at Hallmark, and sort of hear from the different views and perspectives that they may have, hence inviting you ladies on. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about what you've got to say. I know it's going to be really, really interesting. So to help me out and in preparation for today, the steering group came together and we pulled up some really great questions that we'd like to ask you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Are you ready?
We are indeed.
Yep, we are indeed. Fantastic. Well, ladies, firstly, happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
Secondly, thank you so much for agreeing to join me. So I know you're all very, very busy, so I absolutely really appreciate you joining. So the first question, let's dive straight in. So the first question that the team came up with was, why do you think it's important to celebrate International Women's Day? And I guess when I sort of sit and reflect about this, I think from my side, I think it's really important to raise that awareness and support the movement that's focused on women's advancement. It's a really great time to reflect, check in, what we're doing, making sure what we're doing is the right thing, but also, taking that time to celebrate and give that recognition. So who shall I come to first? Oh, B, do you want to give us your view on that one, if that's all right? What do you think? What would be your answer to that?
No, I think I completely agree with what you said. For me, it's about just actually having that moment in time where we sit back and we reflect on the achievements of women across the world in our industry, in the care industry, and just recognising that we all have a part to play in empowering women and also celebrating what's been going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Love that. Thank you. Tash, would you like to go? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really good for us to kind of just reflect on where we've come from, being allowed the choice to vote to now being an influencer. It just makes me excited for the next generation of women that are coming through the ranks and what they're going to offer. And I think by us doing all of this gives them that kind of stepping point to go further than where we are today.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I really love that. I totally agree. How about you, Paula? What are your thoughts?
Agree. I mean, it's really to recognise the contributions of amazing women in every sector, but for us in particular in healthcare, we've got wonderful examples of resilience and brilliant achievements. And I'm incredibly proud of being a woman and having all the initiatives we have at Hallmark and celebrating this day for me means the world. And most of us being together as women, being together to achieve whatever we want, and we've got everything, and we are so powerful. And achieving that, celebrating, reflecting as well. Like B said, is reflecting as well. Taking that moment to stop and think how amazing we are. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really hard, isn't it? Because sometimes we're all so busy all the time. It's really great to actually sort of take that time just to think about it, and when you do, you kind of sort of realise, don't you? And I think we've got some fantastic examples, and obviously the three of you, on this call today, I know you've got some, great stories in terms of, your careers and how you've progressed in the organisation since being here as well, which is fab. Lovely, thank you. So, ready for the next question?
Yeah.
The next one the team came up with was, who is a woman that you look up to and why? So, who'd like to go next?
I can start.
Yeah,
I had so many. It was difficult. It is difficult to choose. I've got so many, but one of a woman that I always think about as being the woman that I listen, and I learned so much through my career, and especially at Hallmark, is Julie Rayner, our Director of Quality and Compliance. And I used to say Julie Rayner is a full house, isn't it? But she represents women so well. And her commitment and her resilience and her values that remain at the heart of Hallmark to improving healthcare standards, for me, it's an example that I follow. And when I'm very lucky because I know Julie, I worked with Julie for many, many years. And through my career, I always ask for advice, and I always ask Julie to advise me in various areas. And I think it's a woman that we should celebrate.
Yeah,
so that's my choice. That's my
really
choice.
Nice. And it's so good to have someone like that, as well, as you say, Paula, isn't it? That you can kind of go to and just get some advice from in the business. And, it's fab. Oh, thank you. B, do you want to go next?
I found this question really hard, actually. I don't know why. It was hard to find like one woman, but when I thought about it, it was, for me, it was more a particular group of women. I really look up to working mums. Myself, I'm not a mother. I don't have any children, but I work alongside so many women that, as you say, do it all. They're raising a family, they are coming to work, they're striving, they're achieving. And yeah, for me, it's just a bit of a shout out to, those who are caring alongside working, and to be fair, making it look easy. But no, just that appreciation, where, we all have our struggles and our times in life that we have to push that little bit harder. But like I said, I've worked alongside, and I still work alongside some amazing women who just remind me how amazing women can be.
Yeah, resilient and all of that. And it isn't easy, I totally get that, but it's amazing when you see women making it look easy, but it really isn't.
Yeah,
completely get it.
No.
Yeah, good one. All right, and Tash, how about yourself?
Well, when I thought about it, again, there's so many women that have influenced me in my life, even today, as we kind of go through every journey that we go through. But I was kind of saying, well, where did it first come from? Who did I first kind of look up to? And it was like when we were learning about Rosa Parks at school, and she had a vision and she had courage to make a change. And I just felt by her just doing one simple thing of just refusing to give up that seed, she made a powerful statement that inspired myself and others to make such a change. So
Yeah, definitely. I think from my perspective, it's that sort of old cliche, isn't it? When you think about your mum.
Yeah.
My mum, I think when I sort of think about it from a personal perspective, she faced many struggles, and she was a single parent. that I'm one of four, and she had it hard, but, she did so well with such strength and love, and I'll be forever grateful, that she showed me how to be a strong, independent woman from such a young age. And she certainly, I would say, has helped shape me to who I am today. And I think from a sort of a business perspective, you sort of see a lot of business women around you, don't you? I think there's plenty within Hallmark, but sort of thinking from an external perspective, I was thinking about, like Karen Brady, for example. You think about, how she comes across and she demonstrates such strength and control, but, she would have absolutely faced many adversities making her way through a really male-dominated world, wouldn't she? In football, and I sort of looked up one of her quotes, and it really sort of spoke to me. And what it was it says, as long as you like yourself, as long as your family like you, as long as you are good at what you do, your team respect you, and your board have trust in you, that's what's important. And I guess when I sort of read that, and I thought, that speaks to me about being authentic and true to who you are, which, when you're a leader and you want people to sort of believe in you and you want them to follow you, that's just so important, isn't it? Just being true to who you are.
It's fundamental. It's fundamental, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So next question. This is a really good question, actually. I really like this one. And I think it will be really interesting because, we've started to talk about this a little bit. But so the question is, have you faced any barriers in your career due to being a woman? If so, how did you overcome them? Tash, should we start with yourself first?
Yeah, so I think my biggest barrier was work-life balance, and I think that was more so when my children were a bit younger. A bit luckier now that they've all grown up, but they taught me some very tough character building moments. And one was wrongly influenced by peers growing up, another one was exited from 7 schools because of special needs. I was really fortunate to be with managers and in companies that supported me through those testing times, because I was their only parent, but it actually gave me more commitment to those companies I work with to do my best and grow in that company.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it, when you've got that backing? Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same as you, actually. I think when I thought about this one, I was sort of thinking, I particularly, around the time when I had my son, so I had to sort of work really, really hard and sacrifice a lot to get back on track with my career when I returned from work, and a bit like what you're saying there, I've been really fortunate enough to have a lot of support around me that's enabled me to do that, albeit I did have to make some sacrifices, but, I know that not all women have that and are fortunate enough to have that. And I've definitely seen friends around me, get stuck in that situation, which is really sad. Totally agree. B, what about yourself?
I think really similar to you both is having to adopt a caring role for a parent, but also juggle that work-life balance as well. And when things happen at the drop of a hat, and you have to, not beg, but you feel guilty for having to leave. But like you said, working for a company that hear what you're saying, that kind of empathize with you and feel that part of your life is amazing. But yeah, that's probably the biggest barrier that I've had, is trying to figure out firstly how to explain it to your employer that you're in that position, and not knowing what that's going to mean. It's, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you don't know what's going to happen next year, but having that employer that's actually understanding has helped overcome that barrier. But it's not easy caring for others and still trying to develop in your career. Like I said, there's so many sacrifices that you have to make. But for me, those sacrifices have got us to where we are now. It's made us the people who we are now. It means that we are empathetic to the women around us, or the people around us, men, women, in similar situations. So yeah, it's definitely a barrier. But you can turn every barrier to a success if you try hard enough.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, absolutely. But it's also having the confidence that you're working in an environment where the culture is supportive. And sometimes if it isn't, we're fortunate enough at Hallmark that it is, obviously, but if it isn't, people probably hold back, don't they? And they feel that they can't ask or, you know, say that they need that support in fear that actually it might go against them, which is obviously wrong. So, Paula, how about yourself?
Yes, I mean, berries probably not. I'm as like similar to Tash and you, Eve, probably a challenge, and that goes back 25 years ago when I had my first son, and it's very similar, isn't it? It's sometimes the awareness how difficult it is then to come back. And I've got two kids, well, adults now, and both of them born in Portugal. And at the time, we had 3 months of maternity leave, and I felt that was my biggest challenge. 3 months after going back to work, and casual as you like, the expectations from the employer don't change, are the same. So I found that very challenging at the time. I never felt that's because I'm a woman. It's just the nature, isn't it? And in England, I never had that problem because I'm working for Hallmark for almost 10 years, and that has been as you know, we've got a wonderful culture. So I never felt I'm a woman, so therefore I've got challenges. Absolutely not. I don't even think about it to be honest, because we've got so much support and the confidence that we can achieve our goals and what we want. So no, but I will go back exactly to that particular time in women's lives, and we've got kids, and I think there is work to be done in that area, because it's not just having a baby, isn't it? It's what changes as women. Our body changes, our way of being changed, everything changes. And there's work to be done.
Absolutely agree. Okay, next question. So, on International Women's Day, what is the most important message you want to send out to women thinking about their careers? I'll come to you first, Paula, because I haven't come to you first yet. I don't think.
I'll be yourself. Trust your instincts. Trust your sixth sense, isn't it? I truly believe that women have it.
I agree.
Isn't it? And just be aware of it, and trust and follow it, and don't think too much. You know, just do what your heart and that instinct tells you to do, and you will win. I have no doubt about it. And be kind to other women. Just be kind. Sometimes, you know, we are all so busy that we don't reflect, we don't spend time thinking about what people are going through. And like we said, we all had similar things, isn't it? We went through challenging periods because we were mothers, because we are going through, you know, different phases in our lives. So just be kind, but please trust your instincts. 9 out of 10, you are probably right.
Yeah, that's it. It's true. It's so true, isn't it? In many ways. Excellent. Thanks, Paula. Tash, how about yourself?
There's a quote, I don't know who's actually quoted it, but it's, when doing a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I always feel that if you're in the right job, you'll love learning, you'll love growing, you'll love sharing, and then it just becomes natural to be part of that company, that family, and then you exceed yourself. But yeah, and then like what Paula's saying, being empathetic of others, because I think we're actually mentors and coaches as well. We've gone through it, so the next person shouldn't have to go through it. But yeah,
100%. Looking out for each other is so important, isn't it? You got to have each other's back, haven't you? You know, just everybody in general, like in life, it's just the right way to be, isn't it? But makes such a difference, doesn't it? Lovely. And B, what about yourself?
I've got 2 messages. I think the first one is something that I tell the team that I work with all the time. But I don't know if you know that quote, dress for the job that you want. But it's just turning that a little way just to say, if there's something that you want, start acting the way that job expects you to perform all those standards now. So if you want to go for that promotion, if you want to go for that next job, start acting like that now.
Like it's yours, like you've got it already.
Yes, 100%. Be ready for it. Own it.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen when you've got that mentality and that mindset from the get-go. The people around you pick up on it. The people around you, they support you more, and then when the time does come, you don't feel like you're jumping, or you don't feel like that imposter syndrome is going to sneak up on you. So yeah, just start acting now. Be confident in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in your abilities. And then I think I'm going to echo what everyone else has said, but just to empower other women, this industry, working with other women, we've got this this I don't know, prejudice maybe, that, we can not always support each other. We can be, a bit underhanded sometimes, and I don't see that a lot. But I just want to just tell all the women to support each other, raise each other up, empower each other, network and celebrate everything that we do. And I do see that in Hallmark. I do see that there's that celebration. There is that, that praise. Amongst all of us, and it's really lovely, but we just need to continue.
Yeah, love that. I really, really love that. Everything you've all said, I completely agree with. And I think from my perspective, I think you've got to go out and you've got to get it, and you've got to work for it. Things don't fall on your lap, do they? You've got to work hard for it. But I think, Paula, what you were saying at the beginning when we first started this, the answering this question, you've got to believe in it, haven't you? I think we're all saying a similar thing here, but I think there's a quote from Emma Watson, and she's saying, if you truly pour your heart into what you believe in, even if it makes you vulnerable, amazing things can and will happen. And I completely agree with that.
That's lovely.
Completely agree. That's a wonderful quote. And be authentic. I think we mentioned that before, isn't it? Yeah. Be authentic and don't be afraid of saying what you think. As women, we think we are very wise. We think differently sometimes, and it's using that to support you through your career. And you will be fine. You'll be absolutely fine if you do that.
Be you. Just be you.
Just be you. Just be you. Do your things. That's it.
Okay, right. Last question. It's flying past, actually, isn't it? It's a really great conversation. I'm enjoying it. So this question, what actions do you think an organisation can take to support women to advance in their careers? So B, I'll come to you first, if that's all right.
So again, this is something that I'm literally just picking out of the Hallmark playbook, but it's something that I know that has personally helped me to do well within the company. But it's having that clear progression pathway. So knowing what's out there, how to achieve it, what you need to do, what qualifications, but also having that support opportunity. So if there is something that you need to develop in, then that's available. And I've never seen it done so well. The career opportunities, the Grow program, all the programs that Hallmark have, just there to support us to succeed, I think is an amazing thing. And the other thing is having a mentoring program. So I think we've spoken about this already, but there are some amazing women in this company. Like, I'm on the call with a number of you already, and just knowing that there are people to talk to share your experiences with, to just reach out to, is amazing, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. But an organisation having like those two things in place for everybody will do really well.
Yeah, and obviously you're a real testament to that, and a real live example, aren't you? With the recent promotion that you've had and all of that. I think that's what you're saying at the beginning. So it's so true, isn't it? And it's we see some really great examples of it, as we're saying, so which is fab at Hallmark.
Yeah,
lovely. Thank you. Tash, how about yourself?
Mine was a mentorship as well, because I think sometimes it's nice to have a platform like this, but we don't actually share our experiences enough to help people to understand. And I know, like, for me, like, I've learned from Paula, like, she loves reading, so I've started to read a bit more because I want to be like Paula when I grow up, So it's So it's getting that advice from other people to say, okay, cool, that might work for me, and that worked for me, that didn't work for me. Because I just don't think we do it enough unless we're on like certain platforms. But yeah, mentorship and coaching, I think I would like to see more of that. Yeah.
Brilliant. And that's definitely something we're looking at Hallmark for sure. We've got, a number of us going through coaching qualifications, and, we're certainly looking at the mentorship programs and what that could look like. So yeah, lots of great things coming down the track, which is good news. And Paula, what about yourself?
Pretty much the same leadership development programs. We've got plenty going on at Hallmark at the moment, but it's never too much. I think going through that with knowledge, it's power. And going through that route, and Tasha mentioned, I'm passionate about reading. I'm passionate about culture and about learning different ways of doing things. And I think sharing that in different forums or platforms, it's a brilliant idea. And talking about forums, and I know we do that at Hallmark, it's having also those little platforms where you can talk about women things. And we do that, as you know, at Hallmark, we've got a forum that talks about menopause, for example, which is unique, isn't it, to us? And I think that's fundamental. All employees should have similar things, because the truth is there is an impact in our career. And I can speak for myself, there is an impact. And if we have the awareness and the knowledge to understand, by the way, this is coming. So, and understanding the little things that when we are 40 years old, we think, oh, I still have 10 years, or I still have this, or I still have that. No, we don't. And understanding that, I remember when I applied for the regional director role a few years ago. I didn't even think about it, but I was facing some problems. I was forgetting things, and I didn't feel myself. Today, with almost 50 years old, I look back and I think, oh, I know what that was, and actually was absolutely normal.
Yeah, but my book is real.
It's real, and it's out there. And,
it sure
is. But knowing that, it takes the fear from you. Exactly. And I applied for the role, and I was successful, and I've been in the role for a few years now. But if I didn't have that information, probably I would not do it. I would lack the confidence to do it. So sharing information, sharing life histories, I think it's fundamental, and every single employee should do the same.
Yeah, raising that awareness as well, letting people know that you're not alone, that it's shared.
Absolutely.
And there's support out there, and all of that understanding is just so important, as you say. Yeah, I completely agree with all of you, and I think we're obviously very fortunate to work for an organisation that is so supportive and has all of the great things in place that we've all talked about. But I think from a general perspective, I think one of the great things that can be done is just keeping an eye on that data as well, isn't it? I think sort of from somebody in my world, and in recruitment, and making sure that we've got men and women applying for positions, and actually keeping a close eye on who's getting the jobs, but then also throughout that whole employee life cycle, are we seeing any drop off with women leaving at certain points of their career? Why is that? What are the exit surveys telling us? Is there anything that we need to be doing differently to make sure that that there is that fairness throughout the full employee life cycle, really? I think we've covered off a lot, really. So I don't know, is there anything anybody else wants to add before we finish up?
Been brilliant, Eve. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for the opportunity, and let's celebrate the fact that we are brilliant women. So let's enjoy it.
Excellent, love that. And happy International Women's Day, everybody. And we'll look forward to next year, and let's see what we do next year in recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.